Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone and slow age expert. So let's talk estrogen and breast cancer. So let's see if we can understand this a little bit so we maybe can remove some of the fear related to supporting estrogen after menopause. Okay, so estrogen has two roles related to breast cancer. One of the roles is that it can be a molecule which can create DNA damage, so DNA mutations which will instigate or initiate the cancer process. But know this, it is not only estrogen that does this. There are many fat-soluble molecules which can create these DNA mutations and damage. Okay, so don't think it's just estrogen, because there are many others, and many of these will be created through the detoxification of fat-soluble molecules, where estrogen is one of them. Okay, so that's the one way that estrogen is connected to breast cancer. Now, the other way is it's food for the cancers. So the breast cancer, the uterine, the testicle cancers, which could have been created due to estrogen, but these tend to also be fed by estrogen. So these are where the doctors say, oh, you have an estrogen positive breast cancer or an ER receptor positive breast cancer. That means that estrogen is now feeding that cancer, and estrogen is a proliferator, it's an activator, it's going to increase cell dealing and that division. So that means that it'll go a bit quicker if there's lots of estrogen. Okay, so there's two different ways. So obviously the most important way or the focus should be is preventing a cancer being created in the first place. And there are different ways that we can focus on, different ways we can establish if we also have a weakness here. But it all has a lot to do with something called oxidative stress. Now, there is an article down there called Estrogen Breast Cancer, and I would suggest you reading that through, because it's a lot of technical words and things, so have a little look at that, have a little read, and make a decision as to whether you think that you would like to know more about your detoxification pathways, so you can establish a need to support them, because we can support these pathways so we don't start developing the cancers. Yeah. And then the last bit obviously is focusing on cutting back on the food, as in cutting back on the insulin. So this is what the medical world looks at when you have an estrogen-driven cancer. You possibly have some chemotherapy, radiation to kill off the cancer. You'll possibly have your breast removed or part of it removed. And then the after treatment will be to starve your body of estrogen, as in the estrogen that you are producing with various medications. And this can be very challenging for many ladies, because if you think that your postmenopausal symptoms of low estrogen are tough to live with, then imagine having zero estrogen, because that's exactly what this medication does in a way. But there are different things that you can do to focus on decreasing estrogen, your own production of estrogen, but also if you're getting estrogens from the outside, so these xenoestrogens we call them, the external foreign estrogens, which could also be plant foods, plant estrogens, but it's more so these, the plastics, the parabens, the colors, the dyes, and this kind of thing. They're all got these hormone modulators, and the hormone they modulate is estrogen, unfortunately. Have a little look at that article. It's a bit technical, it's very important, and as I said, please believe this when I say it is not just estrogen that creates the cancers. So we need to be better with our lifestyle choices. We need to support our detoxification systems, where the major one is in the liver. And we can do this with many nutrients. We can support these pathways. You might want to know if you have a weakness in some of these pathways, because they're all run by your genetics, your DNA. And that all that is possible. And if there is cancer, any type of cancer in the family, then I would say get yourself tested to see how your detoxification pathways look, and see if you can support the weaknesses that you might have genetically by taking specific supplements. Happy hormones, happy life.